really well defensively. You know, I mean, the play Reynolds made, Hayes continues to make a good play. Yoshi made a good play. But the double play ball that Peters got was probably the turning point in the game. That was huge.
And we've talked about Hayes a lot these last couple days, for other reasons, but in terms of just the defense he's had these last couple games, has it kind of stood out as being just kind of an outlier, just how good he's like? Not to say like he's not good, but just like the range of difficulty on these plays and like the way that it just feels routine. Has this stuck out to you, or is this just Hayes?
I mean, I think we get a little we get a little guilty because of the fact that he is that good, and sometimes the plays that he makes look routine. Like we pointed out, the play last night where he turned his glove over. I mean, he moves his feet so well. He does things so well that I think I don't think it's an outlier because he's just so good over there.
Shelton, do you think this team can be consistently as good defensively as the one was last year? It's asking a lot, and you have some players that are different, obviously.
Yeah, we have some players that are different. I mean, right now, especially in the outfield, we're asking some guys that are traditional infielders to play the outfield. So at times that could be a little bit challenging for us. I mean, today we defended for Hoy, and Hoy played well out there. I mean, he got the balls and did a good job. It's just, Jake is pretty good out there. But infield defense-wise, yeah, I think we can be. I mean, that left side has been really good through the first 5 games, but I think we can be as good defensively, yeah.
I know it's early, but any indication of how serious Zach's contusion is?
No, I mean, just a contusion. Saw him briefly after the game. I mean, he got flushed up pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he was more pissed that he thought it was a double play ball and he couldn't get out of the way than anything else. But no, I think initially right now, tomorrow's going to be the big day, just coming in, how sore he feels.
What did you see from him? I'm sorry, Jeff.
Go ahead, Dan.
What did you see from Thompson when he was pitching?
It was good. I mean, exactly what we thought. He commanded the ball. He used the 2-seamer. He put the ball on the ground, which kind of goes back to the point of how well we played defensively. I thought he stayed composed. The 4th inning, he started to get out of the 5th inning, I'm sorry, he started to get out his delivery a little bit. Newman made the really nice play on the hard hit ball, but overall, really solid first outing.
Shelton, you're coming off a game where you missed out on some opportunities offensively. Double play early in the first, and for Gamble to come through, how much did that set a tone?
Yeah, I thought the one thing we made Hendricks do is we made him work. And we made him work throughout that first inning. We didn't go out of our zones. The one thing that Kyle does a really good job of is he throws the ball on the edges. And the thing that stood out to me today is we didn't chase balls to the edges to get ourselves back into counts. Gamble did it a couple times. I mean, Reynolds squared up, I think 3 balls hit him right on the barrel and didn't get anything to show for it. Hayward made the really nice running catch. But I thought our approach was outstanding, and that's what led to us being able to do that.
We've seen Will Crow in a couple different spots now. He gets the 3-inning save today, 6 scoreless to begin the season. Just how impressive what he's been able to do so far.
Yeah, well, I think Bob Walk's going to be the most excited person, in Pittsburgh tonight because he loves the 3-inning save. But, to be able to deploy him in different ways, I thought has been really useful for us. And his consistency of his velo, consistency of his stuff is maintained. And today, being able to finish that game was big for us.
What sort of things did you see? What sort of things did you see this offseason that you thought would make Will a good reliever? That he would be able to slide it.
Right. I think one of the things he likes to throw, and I know that sounds weird, but he was one of those starters that threw a lot between his starts. And when you have a guy like that, the ability to bounce back, shows up. And it was one of the things when we started to identify who was going to start and who was going to pitch in these different roles, because of his ability to bounce back, because of his ability to maintain his stuff, which is really rare for starters. We thought he would fit really well in a role like this.
In terms of Will, it is early in terms of how exactly his role might shape out as the season progresses, but what sort of dynamic can having that weapon add to this bullpen as is?
Well, it's a different weapon. I mean, I think we've talked since day one of spring training about how we're going to deploy our bullpen, and it's not going to be traditional, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to put guys in the best situations possible. And when you have different, for your word, weapons that you can use, or guys you can different spots, it just kind of shows how we're building our program and how it works.
Some starters might take it personally if you move to the bullpen, especially young in your career. What's a bit about the way he's handled that transition?
He's handled himself extremely well. I mean, we talked the last time out about how good his tempo was. I think that one thing, and you guys know me pretty well, is I was very honest with our group. I'm very honest with our position players. I'm very honest with our pitchers. And if they have an issue with it, they can come in and we can walk through it, and we can talk about why we feel it's best for them and the club. the one thing that we did early on as a group is we were very transparent with how we're going to run our bullpen and how we're going to run our starters.
Shelton, I know he's been up there before, but he's not your traditional leadoff guy. What do you like, and obviously had a couple of hits today, but what do you like about Vogelback in that top spot?
He gets on base. You know, he gets on base, he works count. I mean, last night he had a really tough at bat where he struck out the pinch hit at bat, and going back and looking, I think those pitches were about as perfectly executed as they could be. But the fact that against right-handed pitching he gets on base, and today he had 3 really good swings, and that was important. You know, I mean, I think when you come to a new team, you're hitting in a different spot in the order. It's a little non-traditional for him. You know, having 3 good swings today was really important.
Is that a spot where if you don't have the pitcher in the lineup, it makes it a little different having a leadoff guy of his build?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people make out of the build, but I think if you start to look around the league now, the traditional guy that led off 20 years ago, he doesn't hit there because of how we value spots in the lineup. And then with the pitcher not there, the function of how the bottom of your lineup really plays into that also.
How have you approached, you used a defensive substitute today, just the change in, every day you can do whatever you want with the defense. You don't have to worry about having guys to pinch hit and things like that.
I think that's something we've talked about here for 2 years going into this year is versatility and liking players that have versatility. And if you look down at our bench, I think with the exception of maybe Vogie, everybody can play multiple positions. And that gives us the ability to do a bunch of different things. It gives us the ability, like in the game, if the function of the game changes, we have guys that can go to 4 and possibly 5 spots. So the versatility is, really important. I mean, we've talked about it organizationally in the minor leagues. We're teaching guys to play multiple positions in the minor leagues, which is extremely important when you come up here.
Shelton, you saw it at the end of his rookie year, the first month for Key Ryan. But when he gets hot like this, man, I think you saw him hit 8 in a row in that late September. What's it like? How dangerous is he when he starts getting on a roll where he goes 4 for 4 again?
Yeah, I mean, he's extremely dangerous. I think we've talked a lot about how good a defensive player this guy's going to be, but we feel he's going to be a good offensive player. And I think yesterday when we were talking about the contract and the long-term commitment, the ability to impact the game in multiple ways is something that's really important to us. And Key's just going to continue to get better as a hitter.